Live with Brandon Mason.
Okay, so a lot of people now want to get paid as an athlete. Obviously, players for years and years have been playing for free. And now, listen, I'm in college, I'm in high school, I want to be paid. So live on the show today, we have founder of the number one, I would say, platform for people to get paid through NIL, because this is what people are talking about. I'm not saying there's not other platforms, but this is one of the best. I think you should check it out. Live on the show, we have Brent Chapman. Great to have you on here. And, I wanted to call you number one because every time I talk to people, they keep saying my NIL pay. So great to have you here. Where are you at right now?
I am in Frisco, Texas.
Okay. How's the weather looking out there? I'm in Miami. It's hot as hell, and it's October.
Well, yeah, I think we were hitting 90s and 100 in October. So, it was a little cooler yesterday. I think, low 70s. But yes, we've had a very warm fall, so to speak.
I got to tell you, every time I keep talking to people about sports, a lot of people, obviously, there's pro fans, whether it's NFL, NBA, NHL, whatever sport you love. But it always goes back to, man, I love college. I love the camaraderie. I love playing for my alma mater. And so these, a lot of these players from high school to college are like, I'm working my butt off, working my tail off every day. I want to be paid. And you came up with something that's pretty cool. So let's talk about this. My NIL pay, where did it start? How did this start evolving? How did you get into this?
Yeah, so prior to my NIL pay, I was just your run-of-the-mill corporate guy. I was a corporate executive. I was the head of technology for 3 different financial services institutions. And my son plays football. And so we were at a football camp, and I was talking to some of these players about their NIL experiences. And my son's like, Dad, there's got to be a better way to do this. And then I started to explain the blockchain and all these other things. And that became my NIL pay, which essentially is, it just allows anybody, a fan, a booster, a donor, it doesn't matter, just to direct pay a student athlete. You don't have to be Bryce Young and get $1 million shoe deal. You can just be Joe, the swimmer at D3 college, and get $20. And
that someone wants to pay just because.
Yeah, that's right. Because maybe, I don't know. I mean, I came from a medium-sized town, and the kid that went to my school that went to Michigan State, and, we would have supported that kid because it's like, that's your guy. That's your hometown guy. That's the guy that grew up and was the big man on campus, right? And so I think giving the fans the ability to support any student athlete is a big win in this space for athletes.
So let me get this straight. And I hate to just, when I get on here live and start talking, I can shoot the breeze and BS, but this is important stuff. And people really want to know, when they click on this and go, hey, how do I get paid as an athlete? They want to know what's going on. So I kind of got right into it. But realistically, football in America is huge. And now a lot of sports in America is huge. But people are just like, I'm working my butt off. I want to be paid. And so you're saying you don't have to be Bryce Young. You don't have to be the number one running back, quarterback, linebacker. You could just be someone that people like, or you had a good game, right? And so someone jumps on here. I'm going to pull this up for a second just so people can see a quick photo. This is mynilpay.com, where you can go on and sign up. You can create your profile, yada, yada, yada. But I want you to explain this in a better term. So they go on there, any athlete. Do they need a manager? Do they need an agent? Do they need anybody? Or can they just go on and just make an account?
Yeah, we've made this incredibly simple. As a fan, you download the app in your app store. All 500,000 plus student athletes are preloaded. So if you play an NCAA, if you're an NCAA athlete, whether it's D1 or D3, or you're a rower or a football player, you're in the app. It's that simple. And so
they're already in the app. You're saying they're already in the app right now.
You are in the app right now if you are an NCAA athlete and you are preloaded. So I go in and I want to pay whoever, and I send them $20. They get an email that says, hey, Brent sent you $20. They go in, they sign up, they put in their checking account. It's done. It's the Venmo of NIL.
So basically right now what you're saying is, I'm an athlete, I'm playing college football. I play for whatever university, doesn't matter. If I do not have an account right now, I'm preloaded. in the application, I'm in my NIL right now, I'm already officially in there. If I do not have an account, they cannot, if I don't go in and create my username and password, they cannot send me anything. Is that correct?
Well, they can send you money. So you're
without you having an account?
Yes, because you're already in the app. So they send you money. Then you go claim your account and sign up and you get your money.
Wow. So your money, you literally right now can have a block kick. You're a third string guy. You block a kick for Notre Dame. You block a kick for Texas. And you have no idea that there's money sitting in your account right now.
Right.
You go in there, you get your setup going on mynilpay.com, or you download the app right now in your app store.
And you get 10 grand because, you know, because 100 people sent you $20.
This is nuts, right? Like back in the day, I remember when they had, NCAA football games out, right? That was what everybody wanted to do, like get home, play NCAA football all through summer camp. That's what every single football player did.
You want to veer off and shoot the breeze a little bit? So you know how they're bringing back the NCAA college football games, right?
Yeah.
So wouldn't it be awesome if EA had in the game the QR code? So like when you do something, you throw a touchdown pass with the player and his QR code comes up and you can just hit him and pay him in the game, like through my NIL pay.
The ability for them to be able to right now go in and create an account and go, I have $5,000 because I literally forced a fumble. Because a lot of people, like you said, and you named it exactly, a lot of people are saying, I want to be paid through NIL. So a lot of the big name guys, the guy who's getting drafted, the guy who's going to get paid 100%, he knows he's going to make NIL money because it's just kind of a proven thing now through the alma mater, right? They have a whole setup through that.
He's going to get corporate money. That's where it really comes from. Is the big name gets corporate money. The no name doesn't get any money. And let me tell you, there's 500,000 no names and 1,000 names.
And I hate to turn into like a betting kind of thing because a lot of people are going to say, no, let's not get on the road of betting and sports betting because some things are illegal, some things are illegal. But I can tell you this, just first and foremost, if I'm betting on a football game, right? I think this is really important for people to hear this. If I'm betting on a football game right now, whether you're playing against USC or it's Penn State or Florida State, doesn't matter who it is, and I see a guy who I have no idea who he is, and he blocks a kick or he picks a pass or whatever he does, I'm like, man, that guy just helped me win my bet. I'm going on the computer right now, especially if I pick up $1,000, if I pick up 10 grand, I'm going on mynilpay.com right now. I'm looking for that player and I'm saying, hey man, thank you. Here's $100. Here's $50. And that could be hundreds of people right now that are doing that. So just by logging and creating an account, if you're a second and third string, you still have an opportunity to make money with this NIL pay.
That's exactly correct. And you're right. I mean, why not? If you won $100, would you not knock $10 off to the player who made it possible for you?
When I was in college, I was broke as hell. I mean, because of my scholarship, right, I had money because Pittsburgh gave me, a monthly stipend. They paid for room and board. They gave me a check. So I had it a lot better than most students. But I got to tell you, that check runs dry. And with the expenses today, your check runs out. And that NIL pay would be awesome to have come in.
Yeah, Nancy Lieberman said it best. She's on our board of directors. And she said, I went to Old Dominion as a broke college student, and I left Old Dominion as a broke college student. And, she's one of the greatest college athletes of all time, right? And it's like, that just doesn't make any sense to me.
And listen, a lot of people right now are talking about this, and I think the confusion with NIL and people are saying, how do I get paid? People want to know, what are the legalities of it? And because there's so many regulations on how you can get paid, can the booster card pay you? Can an application pay you? Can you bet on something? There's so many ways to, basically cause yourself to be ineligible because you make a mistake. So this is a very safe measure and safe bet to make money.
And this is your safe space. This is your trust tree. This is where you can go and get money. So in the news, what was it? A couple months ago, remember the young lady, Fiona Crawley? She's the tennis player. She won the US Open and she wasn't able to take her $81,000, right? Well, the US Open, if they were generous and kind-hearted, could actually just send her the $81,000
From them.
by NIL pay.
Yeah, from them.
But I haven't seen from them, they
Yeah.
could pay Fiona legally
Right.
by NIL pay. I haven't seen them doing that, though.
So my question is this. You're huge, you love sports, you're into sports. You left what you were doing years ago. Tell me where you were before you got in this. Let's talk about New York. Tell me about how you got to Washington, you got to New York. What did you do in New York to make you get that drive to get into this type of production?
Yeah, I mean, my background was, I worked for startups out of college, and then I got into technology a few years later. And like you said, I worked down in the financial district in Manhattan for a while. And then, just kind of continued to work my way up to where I was, the head of technology for a couple of these large firms. But really, to your point, I've talked about this offline, is sports is really my passion, right? It's what I love to do. All that other stuff is a job. I mean, look, dude, you don't wake up in the morning and go, "Oh, mortgages, that's so awesome." Right?
If you're making money in mortgages, you love the payday.
Maybe you love mortgages. Maybe I'm not saying you can't love mortgages. I mean, it does feel good when you work for a company and you figure out ways to get people in a home. That's admirable and that's great. But for me personally, and like I love sports. I want to be involved in sports, and my son and I identified an area where we could really help people. I think that's the important thing, is where we said, what are we doing in our lives? Do we have the resources to do this? A calling to help people. I mean, the mission of our company is very straightforward: love and serve student athletes in everything we do. So we try to figure out a way.
Wait, what is that again? Let me hear that again. What is it again? The slogan there you got going?
Love and serve student athletes.
Love and serve student athletes.
Every action we take. So this is very important. So when you hear people taking, for the NCAA, 100% of their money for 152 years, or even people today take 40% or 30%. Why? That's not your money, bro. Yeah. That's their money. Right. So I don't get it, dude. So, I mean, I pretty much on every transaction, my NIL makes about 4 to 5%. And that, to be frankly honest, that doesn't really cover operating costs, obviously, right?
Yeah.
There's other ways companies can make money. Instagram and Facebook are billion-dollar companies, and they didn't charge $1 to be on their platform.
Right? It's interesting because every single year, there's been more push to get paid, more push for college athletes in high school. And I know some states allow high school, some states don't. So there still is some kind of system. Do you preload only college athletes? Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, initially the app is for NCAA athletes. Could it expand? Could it be for, high school athletes?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I can see that, by the way. I can see the Booster Club in high schools doing that.
Yeah, the reason why I've stayed away from my NIL pay for prep is it's just the control. It's really easy to control the NCAA sort of from a fraud perspective, right?
Yeah.
From protecting consumers, NCAA is easy. You have to be on the university's website on the roster page, and you have to have a .edu email. That doesn't apply for college athletes. There's no website, and they've got Gmail addresses.
So that works great. And by the way, while I'm doing that, let me pull this site up for you again, because I want people to see the website. But my NIL pay, this isn't some kind of gimmick thing. I'm not even getting paid for this. This isn't something that I'm doing as a partnership. I'd love to have him on the show more, have Brent on the show more, which he knows we're going to do a weekly update. But this is just so cool, because when I've seen, years and years and years of playing college football, all my friends, we pushed so many times. You watch NCAA football, you play the video game, PlayStation, Xbox, you see yourself in the game, you see your number, you don't see your name, but you see your jersey number. Everybody knows that's you. It isn't like people don't know that it's you, And then then you go, look, I want to be paid. And so at that point, when people get on here and create this, why are people not creating it? Is it because they just don't know NIL yet because it's so new?
Yeah, I think the main thing that we're working on right now is awareness, right? A student athlete learns about this and goes, this is awesome. I want to be a part of this. I want to promote this on my socials. I mean, remember, who's the product here? The student athlete. So they register in the app, they collect the money that people have already sent them, and then they can go promote that on their socials or tell their friends and family, right? Promote their team, promote their school. That then helps them make money, right?
Yeah.
It's a situation where they're the product. So go promote yourself. By making people aware of my NIL pay, you're going to get paid.
Yeah.
I think that's like one of the main things. And then on the consumer side, I mean, anyone that's ever created a consumer product knows awareness is very difficult, right? You got to get people to know about the product. But the neat thing about my NIL pay is because the athletes are the product, they can communicate that out. Man, the schools, like you score a touchdown, they can flash the QR code. The athlete can lift up their shirt after they score a touchdown.
No, that's it. Okay, so let me
crown me.
So
Yeah.
this is crazy. So basically, you have an opportunity after you score a touchdown. You can pull your shirt up immediately and be like, "Oh, here's my NIL code." You're like throw me some money here. I'm thinking about this for a second. I pulled this up for watching. I want you guys to understand something. You're running the ball, you score a touchdown, and all you do is on your shoulder pads, you pull your shirt up, and right there you have your QR code or your name or something, my NIL pay. You can get paid. I mean, this is a way to market yourself big time in college football. I didn't even think about that. Is there any sports you don't cover?
No, if it's an NCAA sport, you're in the app.
No matter what it is.
That's correct.
Wow.
Rower, water polo. I don't know, man. Those are all good.
This is interesting.
We're also kind of like little secret because it's not promoted, but it's like an Easter egg. We're starting to put in the marching band, right? Which is kind of cool too, right? So they're part of it.
So the marching band is able to come in and get paid?
Yeah, we're starting to have the marching band for some schools. So the marching band can get people to pay them. I mean, they're college students. They can get paid.
So you're playing the trombone now? You're playing the trombone and you got an NIL app?
Yeah. I think we're going to do this. We'll do the
band members. I got to tell you, band members have become close to me over the course of years, especially in tech, in my high school, in college, even people now. I mean, the band has people you want to be close to. So, a lot of people will knock the band, but they make the game go. They make the camaraderie. They make the alma mater, the sound of everything is so important.
Well, just in that college space, right? You got esports, you've got the cheerleaders and the dance team. Right? You got the band, you've got the marching band, you've got all sorts of, heck, you could extend it to the Model United Nations, right? Or the business club. Like you could put anyone in there, but there's lots of student athletes and people in that sector that, why can't they be compensated also? So
what I was going to ask you is, and this is important, and I'm going to do a whole segment with you on what is NIL just in general, but when you think about it right now, people are like, what is NIL? What is it? A lot of people don't even know what it stands for. Like you just hear NIL. I get paid through NIL, but people don't really know. That's one thing. And the second thing is we keep hearing, a lot of people keep hearing, they're getting paid from their alma mater. And what is it? Their booster, their
NIL collective.
Okay, that's the word I keep hearing. NIL collective. Is that just alma mater? Is that a group at the university that they're the collective of that school?
I need to put on like my professor jacket or something if we're going to talk. I mean, this is a thing, right? This is kind of a conversation here to really understand that. But let's start with NIL. So NIL stands for name, image, and likeness. It just means the ability to sell Brent Chapman and be able to market my name, image, and likeness.
Right.
So prior to July of 2021, you couldn't do that, right? You couldn't make any money. If somebody gave you
2021, this was a startup for it.
Yeah, this is when it started, when the NCAA made these rules. And so prior to that, if somebody gave you $20 to go get food or handed you pizza, that would be a violation of your scholarship, right? It's crazy. So they opened it up, and the initial idea was, okay, so pro athletes get marketing deals. right? You know, be a shoe deal, or, you know, be in a commercial, or promote my company on Twitter, right? So they extended that. They thought they were extending that to student athletes, right? And so very early on, you had Quinn Ewers got a big deal at Ohio State, and some of these guys, you know, the big name guys that you would want to promote your company from the big brands, got deals. Then the university,
they got deals legally, or would you say they were illegally?
well, no, they were legal. They were brand deals. They were the same that a pro athlete gets, but they got it as a collegiate athlete. That's essentially what NIL was intended to be.
Right.
Then the universities go, wow, now we can pay players to come to our school and have a sweet football team. So how do we do that?
Now we use our team. We use our team to jump in there and say, hey, look, we're the collective. Not only can you keep that flowing, you actually can invite players like that, right? Like, hey, I'm going to Florida State because they pay, or hey, I'm going to Michigan because their collective takes care of their players. So now it becomes, put your money where your mouth is. Like, you want me to come to Michigan, throw some money out there for me.
And so then the NIL collectives started, and they've gotten like the worst rep ever. They're actually not bad. The people that run them are good people. Their concepts are good people. I think just some sort of stigma of the concept of it. The concept
it's
being,
only money. It's only when you bring in the money.
That's not true. Most of these guys that run these big collectives, they're just trying to help this. No different than the conversation that we are having right now about these guys deserve to get paid. They've said, well, I'm going to do something about it. Walker Jones at Ole Miss, who's built a great collective. Will Smith at Texas has built a great, there's a bunch of, right? They have gone out and they've said, I want to help student athletes get what they deserve. And they've just put their mouth, you know, they've put action to their words, right? And so I think that more that people understand what an NIL collective actually is, they'll realize that it is intended to benefit the student athletes. Now, just like anything, one or two rotten eggs can spoil, you know, can kind of get it a little out of control, right? You get one guy that's a little crazy, right? Like, you know, offering the gentleman at for $13 million to come play quarterback when they didn't have $13 million, right?
I mean, what is it? What is there a cap? I mean, when I look at this just personally, and I'm like, okay, I'm just giving an example. I run a collective and I'm at a big university. Obviously, there's a lot of money in most universities, but some are larger than others. The biggest thing is I'm going to a big school and they can offer money. I mean, can they offer things like, okay, we want you to come play running back here. Can I offer this guy a car? Or is it only financial transactions? What is that about?
Offering a car is actually easy because they can get a dealership to give them the car in exchange for a sponsorship of some kind, right? Yeah. So
they know how to do the deal the right way.
Yeah, that's actually easy. Where it got a little complicated, and I want to explain sort of, the collective is a group of boosters and donors, alumni, unaffiliated with the university. All right. So the university is not allowed to dictate or control the collective. So what they do is they go and they find sponsors like the car dealership, or boosters or donors that just want to give money, right? When that money comes in, there has to be, and this is the key with my NIL pay too, there has to be an activation event. There has to be a quid pro quo. The athlete has to do something for that money. They just can't give $10,000 to the athlete. So when they give the car from the dealership and then the athlete comes and does an autograph signing at the dealership, that is the activation of it.
That's all they need to do is something. I'm here signing some I'm signing some autographs.
But
there's my deal there, but I'm signing some autographs. You got to prove if somebody asks.
But now you're getting it. But now you're getting into the big problem that collectives are having, and a solution that my NIL pay helps with. So the problem is now they've raised $10 million, all right? And they've got 400 kids that they want to get money to. You gotta make 400 signings and 400 trips to the old folks' home to do Christmas carols and 400 coaching clinics.
Outrageous.
You gotta make all these events to pay these kids, and you can't pay them $100,000 for one event. There's a fair market value.
Right.
It becomes, now they've got 20 employees and admin costs are up, which means less money for the kids because the collectives have to charge 25% to run their business.
So the NIL, my NIL fixes that, because now you create your account, you go on there, your name's already preloaded in the system. So instead of worrying about concerns or issues or what might happen, basically you go on there, you log in, and you already have money preloaded, or when it's coming in, you're making money. Don't worry about all the objectives.
Well, the collective can collect the money and pay the athlete through my NIL pay.
Right.
Now, this is important because now that activation event that they have to create, right, that the athlete has to do something, is built into our platform. It's part of the transaction. So when you pay the athlete, the fan gets back a piece of digital art with the athlete's digital signature on it. That fulfills the quid pro quo. So it reduces the administration for the collectives significantly. The other thing that we really help the collectives with, and probably more so than what I just stated, is so they make commitments to these players. We talked about it, right? They'll say,
you're talking about the collectives making the commitments, correct?
The collectives will make a commitment to the player. The player will sign a contract that says 10 grand, 20 grand, 100 grand, right? Jeez. Now the collective has to pay them. They've made a commitment, but they don't necessarily have the money. So they have to then go fundraise.
So these collectives are making these arrangements. Are you saying, I mean, obviously, I want to go to USC. Yeah. Okay, this collective is saying, look, come to USC. If you come to USC, we can pay you this. Is that an option, or do you have to go to USC and then do all these other things? Or can you just get paid to go to the school?
Yeah, yes, they'll say come to USC or whatever school, and we'll pay. If you're a basketball player, they'll say we'll give you $300,000 to come play basketball, to be a starter at let's say you're in the transfer portal. So they come and they sign a contract with the collective for $300,000, right? Well, the collective then in the contract will say, all right, you got to go to 20 events and you're going to make $15,000 an event. Now, if they don't go to an event, they don't get paid. If they cancel the event, they don't get paid. If the collective doesn't have the $300,000, they don't get paid.
Wow.
So there's a couple of things where my NIL pay helps. One, the athlete could ask the collective to pay the full amount up front through my NIL pay, which would solve the activation event problem.
Right away, up front.
Pay me my $300,000, pay me my 10 grand, pay me my 20 grand right now, and I'll come play for you. That's number one. Number two, but most importantly, what really helps the collectives is if we have an arrangement with the collective, they can get credit for that money. So if an athlete goes on and hits the game-winning shot and makes $20,000 through the app, $20,000 can count towards that commitment, which frees up $20,000 of cash on hand for the collective. So that means they have $20,000 extra to spend on another athlete or another team, right? So that's really the benefit for collectives to work with my NIL pay, is because we're the only company that has come to them and said, let us help you raise money. Let us raise funds for you. Dollar for dollar, money that comes through my NIL pay counts towards commitments and frees up $1 for the collective. There's not a more powerful argument for a collective. There's not a company out today that helps collectives the way that we can.
And you got this all set up really quickly. I mean, this is something that launched and it's been rocking and rolling in months. I mean, people are looking at this. I mean, you're seeing it everywhere. And so when I take a look at, I want to ask you a question about something. So I take a look at this. When I log into this platform here, I go and I create my account. I go and I create everything in here. I have to use my EDU email or whatever email from the school, right? I go and I verify. It just sends like a verification code or something like that.
It's incredibly,
you're locked and loaded, good to go.
It's incredibly easy. You just put in your email address. It finds you in the database. It sends an email to your university email because you got to verify. You verify. It takes you back into the app and you put in your checking account. You're done. I mean, it's like a 3-minute process.
And you're done. Once that does, let's play football, say basketball, whatever the case may be. And anybody else that wants to. So this is what I wanted to ask you. So now, and I'll pull this up. So now, when you are a college player and you're like, look, I don't know when I'm going to get paid or how I'm going to get paid or whatever. If someone just wants to pay you off the street that you don't even know, they reach out to you directly. Is it better? And I'm not saying they have to do this, but you say, look, pay me through my NIL. Does the person that pay you have to download the app also?
Yeah, it's like Venmo. It's essentially you got to download the Venmo app. You got to send, in this case, you download the My NIL Pay app. You have to find the athlete, and you got to pay him through the app. That's what makes it legal, because if you just give them $20, it's still illegal. My NIL Pay has created this application where you can pay an athlete and the activation event is built in. It makes it legal.
Well, I mean, listen, I'm so excited about this for a lot of reasons. A lot of other opportunities I'm going to bring your way, and I hope that we can do this week. I'd love to have you on. And it's been a pleasure to have you explaining this, because a lot of people are confused about this. I think you answered a lot of questions. I think there will be more questions after this that you can come on and answer to those people. But I'm looking forward to having you on here a lot more. It's been great having you explain this.
Yeah, definitely have appreciated the opportunity to be on, and we'll look forward to, just speaking more about, because this is such a detailed topic, right? And as people watch and ask questions, this can go down a lot of different directions. And, we didn't even get into all the congressional and the government's involvement in this, and how we've been at these hearings and at these events, right, and on Capitol Hill. So there's so much more to get into here. I think we're going to have a lot of fun over the next months talking about this.
You got it. Guys, thank you so much. Thanks for coming on. Brent Chapman, founder of My NIL Pay. It's been great having him. And I got to tell you guys, if you're on there right now and you're a college athlete, now's your chance to get on, sign in, go make your account. My NIL Pay, get on there and create it, because no matter what you do on the court, off the court, people want to pay you because they love to see you. You have a booster club, you have the collectives. Now's the time, now's the place as an athlete to get paid more than ever. Hey guys, thanks for watching and tuning into the Brandon Mason Show. Please remember to like and subscribe. Until next time.